Hey there, I'm Claudia Coffey, and this summer we are taking the Best Bet podcast on the road. I am coming to you from the new southern anchor of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. This is the soon-to-be completed Horse Soldier Farms in Somerset, Kentucky, a $200 million masterpiece built by Green Berets on a mission to bring world-class spirits to the heartland. From a viral video to the planning of an epic America 250 celebration, we are covering it all, from the rebirth of a community to the opening of a legend. So grab a glass. I'm taking you behind the scenes of Lake Cumberland 250. I'm kicking things off in the heart of Somerset in urban Stillhouse, the legacy of Horse Soldier Bourbon. It's industrial, it's elegant, it's proof that a big vision can change a small town. I'm sitting down with Somerset Mayor Alan Keck to talk about his bold pitch heard round the bourbon world. Mayor, thank you so much for catching up with us again.
Yeah.
A lot's
Welcome
been
back.
happening. Since the last time I was here, a lot's been happening.
We're busy.
You're very busy. Take me back to 2018 when you were a new mayor with a big vision.
Yeah.
How did bourbon become the centerpiece for how you would revitalize Somerset?
It's interesting where we're sitting. So 2018 is actually, the election's still going. And in September of that year, I was in an empty building just to my right. And brick background, I was talking to the then tourism director, and she had done a fantastic job. We're just kind of talking about how we could elevate things, how we could leverage our great assets and do more. And I said, by the way, Carolyn, I want to bring a bourbon distillery to Somerset. And she kind of looked at me funny. And after that video got launched, I got actually a lot of criticism. People said, Alan, we've only been a wet county or wet city, 6 years or whatever it had been. You're bringing a bourbon distillery here? I'd won the primary, so everybody thought it was risky. But the vision was simple. We have lake tourism. Everybody knows how special Lake Cumberland is, right? It's our competitive advantage. But with the bourbon boom, I thought, how unique would it be if we could marry lake tourism and bourbonism and bring them together? And so, we announced it to the world, if you would. I won the election, and I didn't want to wait until I actually took office. So, we went in November. We're waiting until January, and we filmed this video. I called it our bourbon pitch video. And it was overlooking Lake Cumberland, but it kind of selling that dream of, let's bring the Bourbon Trail south, where the people coming up from the south can start their experience, or if you're coming from the north, you finish there, really unique. And we sent it everywhere. Anybody that would listen, I sent that video to, and I got lots of, pats on the head. Good idea, kiddo, but no thanks. Until, which I think this podcast where we learned of American Freedom Distillery and Horse Soldier Bourbon.
Tell me about how that shot in the dark video made its way to connect with the podcast, which eventually what the video and the pitch ends up in the inbox of the Horse Soldier team.
Yeah. A good buddy of mine, he was listening to Pat McAfee, probably before McAfee kind of blew up. And he knew about the video. He was on our economic development board, and he said, Mayor, you've got to send these guys this video. I mean, they're war heroes. What a perfect fit. We're a patriotic community. I mean, if you look around, you're going to see murals, the American flag. You got a Veterans Park right in the heart of downtown. We're going to celebrate our 250th, which I hope we get to talk about. We love our country. We love our veterans here. And so I agreed with him. I thought, that might soften the blow if maybe, just maybe, they took interest. There were so many God winks along the way in this journey, and one of them was the video itself. So I knew a lot of their story, but I didn't know that they had some familiarity with the Cumberland River. So on 9/11, these soldiers were doing a training mission, which you'd call downstream from Lake Cumberland on the Cumberland River. So when they got this cold email, they had no idea where Somerset was, and they said, yeah, we had to Google that, but we knew that body of water, and it sent chills up their arms. And they said, you know what, maybe we're going to connect with this guy. We like his vision. So about a month later, they called. And we had a nice chat. And they said, look, 4 or 5 years from now, maybe we'll build. We're kind of a hobby company that is growing faster than we realized it could. We'll stay in touch. A month after that, I get a call, and they said, hey, Mayor, we're in Indiana. Could you carve out an hour of your time today? We'd like to stop by your little city and meet you. Well, they ended up spending 4 hours. And that was the beginning of not just shared values, but a shared journey together that's been incredible.
At that time, you had to know that other cities, states, communities bigger than yours were vying for Horse Soldier Bourbon. But what was it about this particular story that you thought in your gut, we've got this.
Yeah.
We can win this.
I'll go back to the shared values. I mean, it was just almost instant camaraderie. I felt like they felt at home, that they almost wanted to find a way to make it work instead of really looking elsewhere. They did. They got pushed to the other big markets on the trail. They were being recruited in Indiana and Ohio, and then they already had a beautiful restaurant and sort of headquarters in Tampa. They could have blazed their own trail and had the distillery there. They knew they wanted to be in Kentucky, but they just weren't sure where. And over the span of 8 or 9 months, we pushed and recruited and leveraged all that we could and got them to say yes.
So what was it like finding out that they had chose Somerset while they're in New York City?
We had big plans. I had a lot of my team there. And that morning, their owner and founder said, "Hey, you're going to go to dinner with my wife and I. Why don't you and Tiffany come to dinner with us?" And I said, "Well, Meredith has all these plans. That's his daughter." And he said, "No, we'll deal with that. You're coming to dinner." And I remember 2 things very specifically about it. We prayed before the meal, which was unique in a business setting. That was special to me because my faith is very important. And then secondly, he said, "Hey, Mayor, we're going to build in your town." And it was, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Now, little did I know it would turn into what it's turned into, right? We were thinking maybe $20 or $30 million facility. And here we are several years later and over $100 million, 200-acre farm. Just incredible.
You had to be overwhelmed when you heard that.
Yeah.
But then how does that compare to being able to tell your community that folks, Horse Soldier Bourbon chose Somerset and it's coming here?
What a special day that was. So we wanted to do it in a way that would allow them to tell some of their story, but also for folks to feel connected with them. And so they made that announcement from inside our council chambers. It was absolutely a packed house. And usually if a council chambers is a packed house, it's a bad day, right? You got a lot of frustrated constituents. In this instance, everybody was there, was upbeat, they were happy, they were ready to celebrate. Now that journey hasn't been perfect from there, but another moment I'll never forget, they have this giant inflatable Horse Soldier bottle. And so that was probably the one and only time you'll ever see this giant bottle of liquor in front of the city hall. But I was here for it. We had a great time, and the community celebrated alongside of us.
At the time, probably everybody's thinking, what has the mayor gotten us into?
I think so.
What is coming into our community? Have you had to kind of calm concerns at all and kind of reset expectations for what this would be and truly kind of how, trust me on this is going to set us up for the future, and how other rural communities are going to look at us forever, and maybe it's going to lift them up too?
Well, I think the part I'm proud of is our team told our story unapologetically. I've said that for years, but by telling our story, we got to hear and learn theirs, and then we started to share it alongside of them. And so now we want to be the home, the community of Horse Soldier Bourbon. But it started with them kind of falling in love with Somerset. Mark Nooch, one of the soldiers, he says Somerset, Kentucky is America. And I love telling that Heartland story. I love challenging other mayors and other community leaders to tell their Heartland story. Because it's special. Everybody doesn't have that. And I think it's what made our country great. And I think it's really where we can have a resurgence as a nation is sort of by being that unapologetically proud of who we are and not apologizing for what we're not.
Horse Soldier Farms will come and officially open in July. Urban Stillhouse, where we are right now, came first. Mm-hmm. This gorgeous space really has set the tone for what Somerset can be. Yeah. Talk about how pleased you were with how this whole project developed and what it has become as kind of the first piece of what Somerset is on its path for.
Well, look, the Urban Stillhouse is an elevated experience. When you come here, you're going to get great food, you're going to get great service, you're going to sort of experience community. That's what I wanted. I mean, they knew this would be a challenging market for how nice this is, but they said yes still. That's the beautiful part of this story, because I mentioned to a lot of their team, our residents will probably only go to your distillery once or twice. And while we're thrilled that it's here, it really won't elevate our quality of life. It elevates our stature in Kentucky. It puts us on the map with the Bourbon Trail, and we'll have hundreds of thousands of people come in. But shouldn't the rest of our town get to experience what I have, is your unbelievable radical hospitality and your elevated service? And so they said, you know what, yeah, we should do that, and it has to be downtown. It has to be in that heartbeat. It can't be off the beaten path. It need to be right in the center of town where kind of everything started. And I think now it's challenging others to say, what else is possible then? And that was my vision all along. If we can get a few folks to say yes, then I love the what's next. And I hope that the next leader behind me will say, now what? what's that next 10, 20, 30-year vision that will elevate us and take us to even newer heights.
You mentioned the feeling of excitement that the community has when they come on this town square and they see this beautiful historical building, a building that was historical in nature before, and to have this new life. You're going to get to celebrate with the community this summer for America's 250. Talk about how that came together and how you felt like, wow, with Horse Soldier Bourbon opening and farms, this is a way for our community to really come together and show them how we're stepping forward.
Yeah. Well, anybody that knows me and anybody that knows Somerset knows that we have the best team in the state of Kentucky. And they wanted to have a big grand opening. We wanted to do something special to celebrate our country. And so, our tourism professionals, which we've been breaking records every single year, county, city, working together, we said, let's just do something unique. Let's just don't have a day. Why wouldn't we celebrate our country's founding, this anniversary, for a week? And so we put our heads together. They took the idea and ran with it. We're going to have events downtown. We're going to have events on the farm. We're going to have events overlooking the lake. We brought stakeholders together from so many agencies, so many communities. It's the county, it's the city of Burnside, it's county tourism, it's city tourism. It's a collaboration. It really is sort of that spirit of togetherness that's been making all this possible for 7 or 8 years, wrapped up into 10 incredible days. We hope the rest of the state and the rest of the region will come celebrate with us.
Biggest small town celebration.
In the country, right? Yeah. And until somebody can challenge me on it, we're going to own that thing.
No, you are. Mayor, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's my privilege.
The vision started here in downtown, but wait till you see where it landed. Coming up, we're going to head out to Horse Soldier Farms to talk to one of the men behind it all, Scott Neal.
Since before we were a nation, even before we were Americans, warriors have come home from conflicts and made whiskey.
I moved from downtown to the stunning grounds of Horse Soldier Farms. I'm sitting down with founder Scott Neal. His story is a part of American history, but today he's making Kentucky history. Well, Scott, thank you for inviting us out.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here in little town of Somerset.
Little town and with a lot of big things happening all around us. We are like literally in the guts of the operation.
This is where great bourbon's made, right? So it's surprising, the art and the science. This building is nothing but science, right? The most modern, the most capable, the most well-built distillery in Kentucky, and I get to say it.
You do, and you very soon get to welcome everybody in.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how your background in Special Forces, from Special Forces to Bourbon Baron, how did that journey with your team in the military develop into a passion for bourbon?
We've been talking all day, and you see these little isms, right? And you have to have some philosophies that ground you. And how did we get here is the word we. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, to go together. And this journey has been about us together building everything from the bottom up. I still believe in America. So we were soldiers, and we were taught to fight for principles of freedom and honor and duty and country. But in the Constitution, it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's every veteran's dream. Come home and pursue happiness. And you could still do it. And that's what we did. We built all of this from an idea.
After retirement,
Yep.
You guys are traveling around, kind of searching for that next passion. What was it about a video from a small town mayor from a Kentucky town that made you just stop in your tracks?
One is the unexpectedness is what's this, the click, right? You don't know today, it's either phishing or somebody sends you something that probably somebody shouldn't be seeing anyways. And it was just somebody I didn't know, so enthusiastic to tell you about their little town. Okay, I want to see your little town. He's taking you here, there. Then there's scenes of Lake Cumberland, and now you're into it.
Yeah.
And you could build here, you could build here. It wasn't the who, right? It was the what. He was showing you what you would get if you come to Somerset. And like anybody, I think, who doesn't know Somerset, the first thing we did was Google it. So I like to say Google and giggle. We started giggling, and then we pass it around to each other. Check this out, check this out, check this out. And it's the seed. That video was the seed of this is possible. And so actually the first step was stopping by here, very unannounced, literally an hour out. We're here, And Alan brought out some members of the city council, some other folks, and started walking around and explaining why. Why Somerset? Who is Somerset? Why we are taking this, and growing this. And you become captivated. So next is you got to bring the wives. No good
'Cause if
decisions made alone.
If the wives like it, then it's
And
definitely in.
we came here, and it was a nice little ceremony. In October, they had a band called Gangster Grass. And it didn't belong, right? This gangster rap and this Kentucky bluegrass, but it fit. And we all giggled, we laughed, we had fun, we met wonderful people that have become friends. Then that's it. Now it's the exactly where. And the where moment came when Shane brought us on this hilltop right over here, and you saw Lake Cumberland, and you said, I'm going no further. This is the flag. Mm-hmm. And we spent the next couple months figuring out how we can make this a reality, and here we are.
I mean, you guys love bourbon. You loved hanging out, drinking bourbon. I think we've heard plenty of stories in Kentucky about a bunch of guys that decide to get together and say, hey, let's get into this. But what was it for you all that you decided, no, really, we're going to do this very intentional, and we're going to do it in an area that's going to support us, and we're going to make this a bourbon that people appreciate from 100 years from now?
So once you have this kind of curiosity, so in Special Forces, it came from a very well-known general called knowledge dominance. When you realize you don't know something, you become obsessed with knowing everything about it. So we didn't know the history of bourbon. We didn't know that it was a distinct product of the United States of America. We didn't know the whiskey rebellion in the past. So every day you uncover this exciting tidbit that you share with each other. So knowledge dominance comes when, well, why is this a business? How do you make money? How do you make great bourbon? And because that was our training and background, is discover the unknown, we were using our skills we already possessed to then get to know the locals, get to know the community, understand how to build something. If the belief that they could do it, we could do it. And that became the bedrock of our brand.
And they won you over on that first visit.
Well, they did.
Without a doubt. But then
me?
what checked the boxes for you that, okay, welcoming community, got it.
Check.
But from a business perspective, we're able to do something much bigger than any other location we've ever looked at.
There are so many resources in the state of Kentucky when you begin to ask, how do we make this possible? So the state has a lot of resources from the tourism side that tells you how many visitors are coming. The aha moment was Lake Cumberland, 4 million. So you're telling me there's already an organic, I don't have to build an audience that exists. The Bourbon Trail, now 2.7 million. I am the shoelaces, this distillery between lake life and bourbon life, and we just have to bring it together. Then there was some factors that were unknown at the time, but the cost of energy here is very, very cheap. There's a power plant not far away. The rural community electric cooperatives brings in alternative energies. All these things fell in each little bucket when you investigate it. Finally, how and who could help us build this big dream? And that became a journey, and we found a great developer, and obviously the person really putting this together is local, and all these trades are so excited. They want to be here on the opening as well.
You've been very intentional even with the architecture.
Yes.
It's not just a distillery. It's not just 240 acres in the heartland of America.
Yeah.
It is also a testament to your past, to 9/11, to a living memorial. How did you build in very intentional details to make sure that you were honoring your heritage and honoring America with this build?
First of all, this started amongst friends, and one of those friends, Elizabeth, everything beautiful comes from her, and she listens like a good lady does, and a woman, we talk a lot. We kind of are the face and boisterous of the brand. But the attention to detail of the conversation of what was important to us, there are 12 fermenters because in the Special Forces team there are 12. Hence the movie 12 Strong. Mm-hmm. You can see out there in our copper kind of screens and shades, arrows and hatchets. So the symbol for Special Forces and Ranger is arrows and hatchets. There are 12 hidden items on the bottle. She designed it all by herself, and she didn't tell anybody, and we had to discover what they were. There are things in this building, in the commander's room, all around that we don't know until it reveals itself.
And that was important for you all
Yes.
to honor that.
It is but it's subtle.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't want to get overly, it's imposed patriotism, right? You've got to be red, white, and blue, and there's 40 eagles flying around. All of that sometimes can be manufactured. Green Berets are the quiet professionals. When you come here, your patriotism should be quiet. Your passion should be quiet. Your love of community and church and God. All of that is subtle, but it's really what makes us who we are.
You've launched this partnership with the professional bull riders.
Yes.
And you've woven that partnership not only into your opening,
Yes.
but into kind of building a lot of anticipation for the greatest small town celebration for 4th of July, America's 250. What do you want people to experience, and what will they see here on the property during 4th of July weekend?
I grew up, and I remember as a young kid, the 1976, the 200th anniversary, and it was everywhere. The messaging, the banners, the red, white, and blue. I remember it was mandatory to change your flag, go help put it on veteran cemeteries. That shaped me. So when we started, understanding that we could match our 10th year anniversary, our grand opening, America's 250th, it was instant. But really, what was missing is, what is the community going to do? So as we began to talk as the community here, because it's us. Right? We and us is very important here, is how do we make this the biggest small town 4th of July celebration? We're just one part of it. Mm-hmm. We're honored to be here. We're honored for the ground opening, but how do we bring the lake, the Somerset, the Burnside, this entire community is the showcase. We're just the cherry on the sundae of small town America on 4th of July.
But you're bringing them an experience that they've never had here before. I mean, the grounds out back, what am I going to see here on the side?
You're going to see a 4,000 person arena erected from nothing. It'll come up in less than a week. Come out and see. We're going to actually have the bulls that they'll be riding will be stored in the stockyards. We'll bring some downtown when the soapbox derby. I don't think I can put a bull in a derby, can I? Okay. I got ideas.
I wouldn't put anything past you guys, by the way.
Hey,
I think
we
if
are
you
not
can
short
imagine
on
it could
epic.
happen.
If this
Maybe
is
next
not
year.
epic, it shouldn't happen. Why? Because bourbon is bold, right? America is bold. If you're going to celebrate it, take it and think of everything you want to see in a celebration and just do it.
Love it. Scott, thank you so much.
America.
Love it. Absolutely. Thank you. And thanks for inviting me in to be behind the scenes. It's the first time that I've been here, and I'll be back this summer.
I look forward
But
to
not
having
on a
you
bull.
right up front.
No.
On the bulls especially.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Get ready for a Kentucky kind of summer. Not just one destination, but a journey across the entire state. From the heartland of Kentucky to Lake Cumberland to Bourbon Country. Town & Country Ford is powering this summer's Best Bet Road Trip Series. From rural Kentucky to the gates of a brand new distillery or wherever life's adventures may lead you. It's one thing to build a distillery and it's another to build a movement. We're going to stay here at the farms, and coming up we're talking to two women that are turning a bourbon boom into a tourism revolution. And we're back here at Horse Soldier Farm. I'm going to be joined by Michelle Allen and Leslie Ikerd with tourism. They have been in the trenches since that early recruitment call, and they have seen the horse soldier effect firsthand. Well, ladies, it's good to see you all again.
Good to be here.
I mean, nothing's been going on since I last saw you, like not a thing.
Not a
I think
thing.
it's fascinating that you all were in the room from those very first discussions about Horse Soldier coming to Pulaski County and to Somerset. Take me back to that time and the excitement you had to being here now, knowing that you're 2 months out from opening. At the time that this airs, it'll be open, almost.
Very exciting and new for us. You talk about somebody that's coming and they're gonna create a distillery in your hometown, and we've always been known as a lake town. We've never been known as bourbon before. Luckily, our downtown has been growing, and now we've got this new addition of this distillery. Honestly, we were like fresh and new, and how do we get them involved, and how do we present to them that this is a wonderful community for you to build this beautiful distillery in?
And Leslie, that had to be so complimentary to you that their surprise visit came on the weekend of Moonlight Festival, one of your premier festivals that you're so proud of, that the whole community loves, and they were blown away by what they saw. They were blown away by the hospitality. That just had to make your heart so full.
Well, what is exciting is that was the first time I ever did a big festival. So it was, I was very focused. Let's do this community event. We're bringing community together. We're showing off the best of who we are. Oh, and there's these new people coming to town that really could change the trajectory of our community could literally change. And so don't mess that up. But kind of what happens with all of us, we are so passionate about what we do. And, after a few minutes of worrying about it, it's just like, let's go make this festival be great.
Yeah.
And they like it or they don't. Bonus is they loved it. And so, it's like, this is going to work because we're being authentic and they're being authentic. And that's where I think real magic happens. When it's not a production, it's people actually caring about what their community, they're caring about what they're doing. And I think that people can tell that, our visitors can tell that. Whatever group comes to our community, whether it's fishermen, musicians, people here for a conference, they always leave saying, we've never been treated so well. You all are really maybe too passionate about your job, but we can feel the excitement. And partnership, I will say that. Her and I have worked together since 2018. And I feel like that's the game changer, us being on the same page, as well as city, county, economic development, our chamber. When everybody gets on the same page, change happens.
And they see that. So anybody new coming in, like Horse Soldier Farms, they see that we're already working together. So what a wonderful piece to add to our team would be a wonderful distillery like this.
To have a bourbon brand and a distillery the size of Horse Soldier Bourbon and Horse Soldier Farms say, yes, we want to be a part of your community is such a big deal that can change the trajectory of your entire community. Did you feel that at the time of those early meetings that, oh, this is a game changer?
Oh, yes.
I feel like we did.
And we still are like, how much is it going to change? We know it's going to be tremendous for us because now we'll be on the Bourbon Trail. So you've plus our 4 million plus the 2.7 million. I mean, we've got all these great opportunities. The question is so many people like, well, we didn't know they were coming, or how are they coming? Because we're not screaming at the top of the lungs when we're just trying to get people here, when we're driving them around our community or sliding them into a festival. We're not screaming, hey, this is what's happening, because we want to make sure we do it right and do it right from the beginning. Then they can see and feel welcome naturally and be able to make a footprint in Somerset, Kentucky.
You all have been all over the country touting tourism over the last 8 years. Scott mentioned something that is so a part of what you all have been talking to people about. It's your location, and it's the community around it. Do you think something like this paves the way for more to come?
Go ahead.
Absolutely. It's any industry that is a big industry, and of course that's one of Kentucky's #1 industries is bourbon. But pair that with soldiers that fought for our freedom and our country. The ultimate American respect is right there. Who isn't going to sign up for that? Who isn't going to trust and believe that they have our best interests at heart? Again, authentically, they've came here. They've invested over $250 million project. This will be, and that's just a start. There's 240 acres here. It's for the community. They keep saying that. It's not just a distillery. This is going to be something for the community. Walking tracks, farmland, venues where you can get married, you can camp out. I mean, they're open to all of it. They've sat down with us and say, what does the community want? They are building this for the community. And when the community's happy, how many champions are going to be telling that story because they know the investment that they have brought to the community? What are our visitors going to get to experience now? So then we have all these people telling the story of Somerset, and then I mean, sky's the limit on the other industries that are going to come because of that.
And you don't have to like bourbon. You don't have to like bourbon to come to this distillery. I said, when I first had the tour, I said, I feel like I'm in NASA, you know? All these great distills, all this copper, just everything that it takes to make a good quality bourbon, high tech, is here. But not everybody has these views at their distillery. Not everybody has this beautiful story at their distillery. So we're very, very honored to have them, to have chosen us. And I think they're honored too that we have welcomed them just as much as they have us.
True partners.
Absolutely.
In every sense of the word.
Yes.
You all are planning one of the largest small town celebrations for America's 250th birthday this July. When did things start clicking together that, wait a minute, we can not only just plan a July 4th celebration, but we can build this sense of community and momentum, not only around the opening, but all these new different things that we have to offer in the community?
Honest answer, I didn't want it to happen.
You didn't. You didn't?
True answer was like, no, not 4th of July. We're a lake community. No, it's going to be
This is the person in charge of Lake Cumberland Tourism,
Right,
right?
they're gonna be
I want to
too
focus.
busy.
Did you just want to focus on the lake at
I
the
mean,
time?
and honestly, it's selfishness, you know.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you hear what they want to do on 4th of July, and you have to. The 4th of July is so special to everybody. And we're celebrating the 250th. So we got a group of people together and discussed what our thoughts were, how can we get it together. Then we created a smaller committee with myself and Leslie and a good friend of ours, Julie Harris, and we've just been behind the scenes just paving it, trying to get everybody involved in everything that we're doing and trying to create a hometown feel, but not only from the 4th of July, but weeks ahead and weeks after.
Right, because 250 is more than just that 10 days that we're looking at. It is all year, but we're focusing on from the time that people come in early, you know, as early as 10 days before the 4th. Events, kind of bringing everything together that would happen in a small town. Soapbox Derby. How can you get any more Americana than that? Coming down our big main street, you know, everybody's got a good main street, but ours is the best. And we're going to have, you know, people of all ages, kids all the way up to adults. Scares me to death, but there's liability waivers. So, but you know, like things like that. We're bringing, doing classic cars and showing Grease as a movie at our classic Virginia Theater. There's just all kinds of events that are happening that culminate all the way leading up to this grand finale of the opening.
And we've got a festival going on the weekend before in Burnside. And so not only are we going to have fireworks on the 4th of July, but we're going to have fireworks the weekend before and music the weekend before. So we've just got so many things that are going on. But what we're asking our community is to get involved. Tell us what you're doing so we can make sure to let everybody know and be a part of it, not just in Somerset, but across the Lake Cumberland region.
What do you hope people leave feeling about visiting Somerset and Pulaski County after the summer that you're going to pull off?
When do we get to come back? When are we coming back? Go ahead and book for the next trip, you know?
Right, and pride. You know, pride of home, pride of self, pride of feeling welcomed. I want our folks that actually live here, and not just our visitors, to be happy that we have this new distillery, to be happy that you've got teams that are working behind the scenes to bring new opportunities to our communities, and just proud to be a part of Somerset, Kentucky, and the United States of America.
What she said.
Pride that a small town can do really big things.
Absolutely.
And you all have.
Trying to.
Love it. You all, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't go
for being
far. I
here.
know we're going to talk a little bit more about the 250 celebration.
Yep.
Isn't all that's happening.
That's right.
And wait, there's even more. Well, the numbers are impressive, but the intention behind them goes even deeper. Coming up, we're going to head back downtown to the urban Stillhouse and talk about the rebirth of the American Heartland.
Lord, he knows I need her, and you know I'd never leave her, and I hope she's coming home to stay. Well, I got out one day and got looking around, and what I found brought me to my knees. The finest little girl in the whole world these
We're back here at Urban Stillhouse with Mayor Alan Keck. So we've seen the distillery, we've talked about the growth, now we're going to talk about the why. This is way more than just talking about bourbon. It's about a cultural shift. Mayor Keck, in the last segment, we talked a little bit about the Heartland and how this is the rebirth of the Heartland. I want to talk a little bit more about that, but I'm also super curious to hear about a trip that you recently took, an unexpected trip that really helped your vision for Somerset and kind of set the tone for this community to stop apologizing for what it's not.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Unexpected, I think, is at least the right word. I mean, I would have never dreamed what happened on this journey to Israel. And it's funny now talking about Kentucky as the heartland. For me, as a Christian, Israel is the Holy Land. It's sort of the heartland of the world in a lot of ways. And I always knew I wanted to have a sister city there. It's actually one of the things that I haven't accomplished yet, that regrettably, although a lot of things have happened over there since that vision was cast. But I went in the summer of 2018, and I was trying to kind of prepare for doing this job. I wanted to go see some other cities, see some culture, but meet a mayor in hopes to discuss sort of some of these shared practices. I mean, they're one of the leaders in agriculture, they're one of the leaders in technology, healthcare, obviously national defense. And so Kentucky has a lot of those industries here, agriculture being the key among it. So long story short, I'm over there, and the gentleman that's supposed to meet me, his flight gets canceled, and the mayor I'm supposed to meet with isn't able to join me because he got called in on reserve duty. And so I'm left in Tel Aviv alone and get to experience some amazing things. Well, the next day my buddy shows up and we're walking around Jerusalem. And I see all these things that I was blown away by. Street art, what looked like graffiti but done in a way to honor past local leaders. I see lights literally in every alleyway, beautifying every street corner. And then the one that probably jumped out the most, we were just walking down the streets of Jerusalem, and I see what had to be 60 or 70 people gathered around a corner, a city block, and they're singing. And I said, Shvi, what in the world are they doing? He said, what are you talking about? They're playing a street piano, having fun. And I thought, that's community. And I looked behind it, and there's the city hall in Jerusalem, and it was fully lit up. And I thought, if this can happen in what some people believe is the most divided place in the world, then surely to goodness we can experience community in Somerset, Kentucky, in the heartland, as you said. And so I kind of vowed in that moment that we're gonna light up Somerset with the things that bring people together: music, food, spirits, lights. And we're gonna take away that darkness by lighting it up and find those things that bring people together in a unique way.
Talk a little bit more about the Light Up Somerset campaign and how that became a great example, the first example of shifting from a culture of no to a culture of yes.
Yeah, and what was so cool is it was simple. I knew we had talented musicians. I knew we had talented artists. I knew we had a downtown that would be pretty if you hung some street lights up and let people come and take pictures. And so we just kind of made that promise. I said, look, if you give me the chance to lead and serve this community, we're going to light it up. The blank walls are going to turn into, we're going to splash paint all over them, and we're going to do it in a beautiful way. And so now we've got a mural trail. We've got multiple alleyways that you can come down and take pictures under the lights. Our downtown, the trees are lit up. We've had festivals where our locals get to sort of exercise their dreams by playing in front of their hometown. We have young singer-songwriters getting to play in front of their hometown and their parents and their friends for the first time. We're lighting up Somerset, and we're doing it with our best and brightest. They don't have to leave and go do it anywhere else now. They can do it right here, again, in South Central Kentucky.
And that must be such a delicate balance to make sure that you're always making sure that the community, the citizens that call Somerset their home, are seeing the changes and are a part of the pride of this community, but also attracting new visitors to come here.
Yeah.
Bring tourism here. How do you balance that to make sure that everything is always working in tandem?
Well, that is a tough balance. Yeah. We've said we want strategic growth, not chaotic growth. Sometimes communities can go so fast that they leave their own behind. So yeah, we might bring in a bigger act to be the headliner, but that morning or that afternoon, you're going to see some local talent. Or while that headliner's playing, there's going to be an art component to let our talented folks be seen and heard as well. I think the real catalyst is we want our people telling our story so proudly that other people can't help but to come and enjoy it. Where you have that world-class quality of life, and people want to come experience it for themselves. And now what we're seeing is after they experience it, they don't really want to leave.
Did that trip to Israel help shape how you would approach the partnership with Horse Soldier?
I think so, because it just broadened my horizons. I got to tour Milk and Honey Whiskey Distillery, the first distillery ever in Israel. And they were using old bourbon barrels to make their more of a Scotch type product, but whiskey. And I thought, again, they're doing this halfway around the world using a Kentucky product, and it sort of challenged me to dream bigger. I think that sometimes in small towns we have small visions, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to push every envelope possible because I felt like we were capable of so much more. This is a special place with great people in it. We just needed somebody to sort of take the lid off and see what was possible and what might bubble over.
You've got something pretty special going with connecting with the right people that share that vision and come from the same kind of material, if you will. It sounds like you found kindred spirits with the folks at Horse Soldier, that their anything is possible mentality has very much become a motto for Somerset.
Yeah, I mean, those guys liberated a country in 90 days. I mean, when we helped them actually secure the property for the farm, I was kind of puffing my chest out and peacocking a little, and he said, "Yeah, what took you so long?" I was like, geez. But, you know, that is their mentality. They always want to push the envelope. They do so much still for service. They have a sort of an expedition every year where they push the boundaries. I mean, from skydiving to celebrate the 75th anniversary in Normandy to deep sea diving to pick up the remains of fallen soldiers. I mean, they're always doing something to help someone else. And it's the ultimate service story. Well, as a local elected official, that's really what we are. We're public servants first. What better example than those guys to showcase true service and true humility?
When I sat down with Scott in the distillery, he told me, you know, we don't do anything halfway.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We do it big, we go all in, and we do it with such pride. Yeah. And it just sounds like, talking to you now, that spirit has kind of lifted you up to say, well, Somerset's just the beginning. Why aren't we doing this across the heartland?
Yeah.
Why aren't we inspiring other communities to really embrace their time? Because there is no time like now, I think, for rural America. Do you agree with that?
I love that statement. I mean, it does. It gets me excited because rural America is special. And I always say our competitive advantage is, yeah, we have the lake, but it's our people. And I believe that with all my heart. And I think that's the case across Kentucky. I think it's the case across all of Middle America. And that's not to say that I don't love the coast. Certainly it has some great things to offer. But I don't know that the coastal elites, if you will, represent all of us all the time. And so I think it's important for us to sort of control our own destiny again and tell that story. You'll hear me say that time and time again. Everybody's story is unique. My Somerset story was unique. And now we're telling it. Well, what's your story? What's your spirit? And what's your shared value that you want other people to experience? I think if we do that collectively, first thing we'll realize is we have a lot more in common than we realized. But secondly, people are going to be attracted to it. They're going to be a part of it. They're going to grow with you.
And I'll be honest, I think for so long, I hear people across rural Kentucky say, we feel looked down upon. We feel like often we're not as good as some of these other cities. And bigger companies go to these bigger cities. And I feel like there is a place and a movement happening now where rural America feels like, oh, we can do this. They feel very much like this is their time.
Well, for too long, I think we allowed it. We accepted some of those paradigms that were placed upon us. And then when you accept them, you start to even believe them. I don't know that a lot of people in Somerset thought what has happened was possible. I've been told many times, we just simply never thought it could happen. And so we do need some people to step up in a bold way and say, you know what, enough's enough. We are capable of this. We are better than this. And I'm sick of them telling me what I can and can't do. And I think if we'll have more leaders, more people step up, it really should be a bottom-up movement, though. It's not people like me as much as it is the people that live in these communities that say enough's enough. This is possible. We are going to do better. We are going to change the paradigm. And if you don't believe me, hang tight and watch.
Do you still keep in touch with the mayor of Jerusalem that inspired your spirit and that?
You know, sadly, we actually never got to meet. So when I say he was called in on reserve duty, over there, when you're called in, you don't really have a choice. It's such a small country.
Yeah.
That meeting never happened. And then it was my first year in office, and then COVID happened, which that country shut down completely for a year and a half. And then I was up for re-election. And then, you know, now obviously we're at a serious time of turmoil. So I'm hoping to get back over there before I'm finished. We'll see. But if not, maybe that's something that the person that fills this seat can pick up that mantle and get it done.
I think you'd have a lot to tell them about what you started here.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Honor to have you here.
The culture has shifted, the calendar is full. Coming up for our final segment, we are going to look at the ultimate summer bucket list for Lake Cumberland. Stay with us. And we're going to wrap things up back here at Horse Soldier Farm, joined once again by Michelle and Leslie, who are telling us all about the biggest small town 4th of July celebration and how it's only just the beginning. So are you all tired yet of planning events, right? I feel like we've gotten to 250 and all the events that are being planned around that. That's a lot. And there's like so much more because then you have the whole rest of the year. But let's just focus on 250. So somebody has 48 hours in the Lake Cumberland area. What do you recommend they do?
You want me to start?
Well, I can start.
That's a big question because there is so many things. 48 hours, you know, I love the lake. Bring your boats, park your boats, come to the rodeo. I'm sorry, bull riding.
That's
if
right.
you don't know there's a difference, there's a difference.
Come and find out what the difference is.
See what the difference is and enjoy our beautiful scenery. But you've also got to take the opportunity to see what's going on in our downtown and see all the events that are going on. But 48 hours, I'm always screaming, hit the water, get off the water, and see what else we have going on here in Somerset.
Is that enough time to come by the distillery? Go to the water.
Yeah.
Come to the
Oh
distillery.
yeah, we can do it.
Go to Urban Stillhouse.
All of it.
Then, yes, then you're coming downtown.
Yeah.
Then you're coming downtown.
For the charm, the hometown, every store you go into, you know, someone's greeting you, telling you all about what they do, telling you about the community, telling you where you should go eat later. You know, what kind of food do you like? Oh, what, you know, it's everybody is an ambassador when you go downtown, talking about what the locals like to do, what you can't miss. Go try this donut. Go have Baxter's coffee. Go to Amon's.
Deal with this burger.
You know,
I hear about the burgers. The
Charred
debate
Oaks
begins.
burger,
Yeah.
you know, downtown deli salad. Like I can just keep going. There's just all these special experiences that you can have as you walk down the street. Catch a show at the Virginia of this week-long event that we talk about, the 250. There's going to be a chance to watch Grease. There's also an opportunity to come downtown on that Friday, and there's a band called the Highwaymen.
There you go.
And they're coming, and they will have a concert that night, and so you'll get to come out and enjoy that, and then shop before or after, have drinks before or after, visit the Stillhouse. There's just all kinds of things to do downtown and spend the evening there enjoying
Then
yourself.
wake up that morning, do the soapbox derby early that morning, and stick around and enjoy Summer Nights Cruise, which will be happening right in all in the downtown. Then as Summer Nights Cruise starts to taper off around 6 o'clock, head down to Burnside, go to their festival where they'll have music and art and food trucks, and then the fireworks too. Then Sunday, hop on the lake if you want to. But there's never enough time in 48 hours here in Somerset.
Scott
for
Neal
sure.
brought up with Horse Soldier Bourbon a really important thing. The whole reason they did want to decide on coming here is that you want to come back.
Absolutely.
So say you come back and then you get to experience all these other events that have been a part of your success over the last 8 years. You mentioned Summer Nights, that's back and up and going with a theme for every single month. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. So they're April through October, always the fourth weekend of each month. This will be their 26th year. In case you missed it, the 25th year, they did this little thing where they took the General Lee and jumped over our downtown fountain. 30,000 or so came here
just
to
a little
see
bit.
a few things happen.
Yeah.
I think we might have made national news. I don't know.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
Right. Little clips
so
all around the
knowing
world.
that can happen in our downtown, just get ready for the unexpected.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more things to come. The opportunities with Horse Soldier Bourbon coming to town and this distillery and their farm and their community investment, it all just makes all these other things that we've been doing even better. You know, in the fall we have our Moonlight Festival, which was the place that drew them in, that sealed the deal. And so we're always excited about that. We have Master Musicians Festival coming at the weekend after this big event when PBR is
Wow,
here.
the timing of that.
And
Oh,
so
wow,
there's
yeah.
just so many things. I mean, I don't know how many, maybe you just need to come every month at
To
least.
the
Get
water
you on
park,
the-
which is not far from the
No,
lake.
water park is here, and then, you know, like we have all our wonderful restaurants that we have, but get an Airbnb, stay in one of our hotels, and plan your summer vacation, not just a weekend or a week. Plan your summer vacation to come here, because you're not going to be able to capture everything in such a short amount of time if you want to. But then again, that's what leads to coming back.
Coming back.
Yep.
People wanting to come back because there's just an opportunity that each time you come back, there's something else to do. And you all have been very thoughtful about appealing to those different visitors that may not have a boat. Well, you can rent a boat, you can rent a boathouse. How have you expanded to make sure that there are like hotel and Airbnb offerings for people that are coming back for a variety of reasons?
And it depends on what time of year.
Yeah.
Of course, we're also getting a new hotel, Home 2 Suites.
Home 2 Suites.
So that'll be open for the summer. So that's going to help also. And then we have such a great variety of short-term rentals. Whether you want something small, whether you want something on the lake, whether you want a resort like Villager Resort that has a pool plus a place to put your boat, or you can rent a boat there at the same time. There's just such a variety of things for folks, and it doesn't have to be lake related. You know, if you're just coming for a festival or just coming randomly to experience something downtown, we've got all the kinds of places for you to stay.
What is your message to outsiders that maybe have never been to Kentucky before, would never think to plan their adventure here?
It's much better than what you think it is. You know, our tagline is come live the real life unsalted. And no, we don't have the beach. We've got what's better though. Our people for sure.
That keep coming back in business building.
Yep.
Well, congratulations. I feel like this has just been an epic year that's been many, many years in the coming. Are you all feeling that this is,
Yes.
like this is really, this is a big thing, but is this just the beginning?
Yeah, and I want our community to feel proud about our community. Join in and help us celebrate. Be proud of where they're from. Be proud that we have all these opportunities now for the younger generation to stay here or to go to college and come back and have a job. I just want our community to be thankful for where they live and appreciate all the wonderful things that we have to offer for them.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for not only just showing me around year after year, but kind of making me a part of kind of this new chapter. It's just been really, I felt blessed to get to know you all and to be invited back, because you've made me feel part of this community.
That's
I want to
right.
be back
Yep.
to get it again, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming back.
It has been an incredible day here in Pulaski County, from the urban Stillhouse to downtown Somerset to the breathtaking scale of what is to be Horse Soldier Farms. One thing is for sure here, what I'm walking away with is that Pulaski County and Lake Cumberland is no longer just a dot on the map. It is a destination. A huge thank you to Mayor Alan Keck, the team here at Horse Soldier Bourbon, Scott Neal, and tourism here at Lake Cumberland for taking us behind the scenes and showing us the heart of Lake Cumberland 250. So we want to see you here. I hope I'll see you here this summer. To plan your next adventure, just go to lakecumberland250.com. Until then, we'll see you soon.